Today's video, we're going to do a spoon flower project. Now, this one is going to be so much fun. It is a longer video, but this took me hours to do, but I think it's going to be a fun project. So I started out by taking out the glass of this picture frame that I got from the Dollar Tree. It is a 5x7 picture frame, and I'm just painting the outside of it with a light mocha. It's an acrylic paint, and I'm doing like a brush on method that makes it look kind of antiqued and distressed. So I got these plastic spoons. They're the clear ones from either Dollar General or Dollar Tree. I'm not really sure. And I just picked out several, and I'm going to start by painting the back side of them with acrylic paint. Now, I am doing like a color ombre blend to get this really pretty look. So you start with painting the top half of the spoon one color, and then the bottom part down by where the handle is upward into that other color with a different color. So I'm just mixing the light mocha in with that yellow to get like a lighter shade, and I just kept mixing until I got the color shade that I wanted. And then I'm just going to go back over the spoon and blend it up in. You can see how I did that. So the top color is one color, and then the bottom color is another color, and you just blend it up in until it blends really pretty like that. It looks like a flower petal. And so that's what I did with all of these spoons, and I believe there was 5 of them, and you're just going to repeat this process. This video here that you're watching is 13 minutes long. It is a lot of like repeating the same steps just to do the spoons, but the whole project itself is a lot more steps. So just keep following along, and you're going to see how this works. And it's just, it looks like glass. They look so pretty. So try to get all of your petals to look about the same. I did my best, and you can see that they look pretty uniform. So I started by using a heat gun to heat up the spoon to where it starts to like melt and shrink upwards. You're going to see it responds really, really quick. So heat up your spoon, and then it's going to start to want to mold and bend, and you need to work really quickly. And if you have something that you can use like silicone protectors for your fingers, that's really helpful because this plastic gets really hot. And so for this spoon, I'm actually doing 2 different flower petals. I cut it down to make it a different shape, and you're going to see the difference in the size here. So I cut off some of it so that I could paint it a different color. So this is going to be like a pink with a purple blend, and they're going to be 2 different flowers. You're going to see the project towards the end to make it make sense. But so I did 5 petals for one flower, 5 petals for the other flower, and this is how this one looks. And we're going to try to create different flower petals. Now, I'm just heating these up to paint them. The first spoons, I didn't do that because I'm going to leave them longer petals. This one, I did cut them down because I'm going to do shorter petals. So again, same process, and I just did different colors. And you'll see the colors next to each other in the flowers as the video goes on. This is more of like a purpley flower. It's very, very pretty. So once I got those painted, now I'm going to heat up the spoons I didn't cut with my heat tool, and I'm heating up the front side, not the painted side. And then I'm going to use my fingers to shape them into a petal that's kind of cupped. And we're going to do that for all of the spoons. And then you're going to do your shaping to make each petal look a little bit different. So each spoon will be molded differently. So to cut off the handle, I just heated up the base, and then because it wanted to like lift up a little bit, I heated up the bottom, and then I just held the spoon top down and pushed. You can see it's really easy. These are really fun to make. They are very time consuming, but they're so super cute. So now you can see it sits more flat. So that's that glass that I pulled out of that picture frame, and I'm wanting them to lay not so lifted up and more flat. You're just going to keep repeating the same process, like heat it up, mold it, and then you're going to cut that handle off. Heat it up, mold it, cut the handle off. And these turned out so good. If I sound sick, I am sick because I've got a cold right now, but I wanted to go ahead and voice this over because I think this is going to be a really fun project for people to do. Great activity, and it's just so fun. And they look like glass. Like, look how fun that is. So this video was recorded live, and Facebook's been deleting our live videos after 30 days. So I did download this, and I clipped it down. It was like a 3-hour video. Y'all, my videos are long. Like, I love to craft with my friends. So this is how all 5 of those flower petals look. Isn't that beautiful? It looks like glass. It's so gorgeous. So we're going to take this handle. We're going to melt it down. Well, we're going to heat it up, and we're going to melt it. Like, not melt it, but we're going to soften it so that we can mold it into what looks like a stem, like a glass stem. Now, this was a little bit of a challenge because I had to use some pliers to kind of like shape that, handle. I kept heating it up. I took some scissors. I was trying everything to make it look like a stem. And then I just painted it green. But it worked out for me. if you decide you want to do this project, you're just going to have to play around with it. And be sure to, like I said, use something to protect your fingers because this stuff gets hot. There I am using those pliers to kind of like mold it and like pull it around and shape it. And then here I'm just heating up the main part of it so that I can like twist it and bend it and make it look like it's a curved stem. It turned out really good. And I did another one of those for the other flowers. So there's the one, and then this is me painting 3 more spoons. I think it was 3 more spoons to do leaves. And I did a green with a little bit of like a light green to get that look. And then we're going to heat that up, melt it, and make it look like, you know, a leaf. So I'm using UV resin to glue in the glass back into that frame. And I'm using this, I call it a little spaceship light because it looks like a little spaceship. It's so fun. And so I didn't heat it up. I lit the corners so that the glass would stay in. And now I'm going to use that UV resin with a paintbrush, and I'm going to coat that glass so that we're going to add crushed glass into that clear glass area before we add our flowers. This is what's going to make it just look so magical. I love this. I want to make a bigger version in like an 8x10, but I just haven't done it yet because I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all, I'm creative. I have so many things on my mind and my ideas, and I want to do all the things. So I haven't done it yet, but I do want to do a bigger one. So we have crushed glass available. And so I did use that with these spoons that we painted. And I used clear glass. And then I used this color called Daydream. That's that blue color right there. This glass, you just sprinkled it onto the UV resin. And then I'm going to use that spaceship light, that UV light, to cure the resin with that crushed glass. And it's going to adhere to the glass in the picture frame. This is going to be so much fun. These also make really great gifts. If you have a booth or a shop and you like make stuff and like sell them, like this is beautiful glass art because it's spoons, but they're clear and it looks like glass. It's so deceiving. People are going to ask you, I asked all my family, like, what do you think I used to make this? And they were like, you use glass? Is that glass? I was like, it's a spoon. And they were just amazed. They were absolutely amazed. So these are beautiful. And this is not my idea. I got this idea from somebody, I think, on the internet somewhere. But look at how that crushed glass looks. It looks so pretty. And then I painted the spoon handles with the acrylic paint green. And I started by adding this stuff with the resin and like curing it. And then I realized I'm just going to use hot glue. So the first couple of things I was like, okay, this is really time consuming. Maybe we should just use some hot glue. And so that's what I did. So here I am gluing all the spoon petals onto that glass with just hot glue. And then I am going to set it again with clear resin, like that UV resin. After I get everything like attached, I just drizzle some resin around and then I cure it, and that will make it a little bit better. Y'all, I'm really sorry that I sound sick, because I am sick. But so this is the first flower. See the little leaf and the stem and then the petals. And then we're going to add crushed glass to the center, and I'm going to use golden honey and lemon drop with UV resin to create the center like pollen area of the flowers after we get this done. And you'll see that as we get this video going. Sorry, this video is like 13 minutes. I couldn't clip out anything. I needed y'all to see every bit of the steps so that you knew what to do. But if you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments too. But this just turned out absolutely beautiful. And you just want to position each spoon because they're different to make the flower shape. Look how pretty that is. So here is the other stem, and then I did put on just one leaf, and then I did do a third leaf after I got my flower done. And this is that pink with the yellow flower with those bigger petals. So you can see the one flower is more purpley, the other flower is more pink, and it just turned out really pretty. And you could do any color combination for your flowers that you want. And I'm just so excited. I just love this. It's so beautiful. I love it. All right, there's one leaf. And then I tuck in a third leaf over at the bottom after I get done gluing all this stuff together. UV resin is really easy to work with. I've been working with the epoxy resin where it's like you mix one part to another part, like equal parts, and like you just let it cure over like 24 hours. But this UV resin is really great for things like this. Oh, and you could put a hanger on this too and make it into like a sun catcher. I mean, the back would need to be finished, but it would be really pretty because then the light could like cascade through it. I have this just kind of propped up on a shelf in my house right now. I am such a perfectionist sometimes, like such precision, trying to line it up and get it to look just the way I want it to. I probably could have clipped a lot of this out, but I wanted everybody to see like all the steps and make it more realistic. And, you know, what is your expectations? Like, how long is this going to take? Y'all talk a lot, so I spent 3 hours on this craft, but it was so pretty. And it's a really great activity, like, so much fun. Look at how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so here's that golden honey. And we're going to sprinkle it into we're going to put UV resin in first, and then we're going to sprinkle that crushed glass over that UV resin, and then we're going to cure it. And I just got a spoon so that I could like drizzle the glass into the opening. So I'm going to scoop it with that spoon. And then I'm just going to drizzle it in, and it's going to make it look like a little pollen center. So we have 2-ounce crushed glass, 8-ounce, and 16-ounce crushed glass. We also do like we have sun catcher wood frames too. But for this one, I wanted to show a different way that you can craft. And then I'm going to use this spaceship UV light to cure this resin. And now I'm going to do the other flower. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like at the end. That was probably a little too much glass, but I want to make sure it got settled into all the resin. And you can just pat it down. And then I use this plate to like pour the excess glass so that I can flip it over. And then at the bottom, I'm going to use this called Treetop. It's green crushed glass at the bottom to make a little grassy scene. It's so cute. It's so pretty. I love this. You guys are going to have to make this. I know that if you love crafting, you're probably going to want to make this. If you just like to watch these crafts, you're probably never going to make it. But I always believe that inspiration can inspire anybody to do anything. And so I hope that you do try this. And if you do, I would love to see what you make with yours. It's just so much fun to do. But thank you guys for watching. Again, I'm so sorry about being sick. My voice just gets more crackly the more that I talk, but I wanted to show you guys. But look at how pretty that is. See the texture and the dimension. Looks very three-dimensional, very pretty. And that's that crushed glass in the center of those, and then that crushed glass at the bottom. So beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to show you all the up-close details. This is a little sped up, but you can still see the center of the flowers, how the petals look. They really look like just pieces of glass, and it's just so pretty. And I love how the clear and that blue glass on the glass backer looks with that UV resin. It's just very pretty. And then I show you here how I cut those flowers down and how it changes the look of those petals. And then the way that I folded them, they've got that glossy look to them. And you can do so many different petal styles just in how you heat up those spoons. And then you can see the ones that I didn't cut versus the ones I did cut. And it makes a larger flower. And then if you cut the spoons down even further, you can make even smaller flowers. So this is how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me for more.